This is a Boeing B-29 Superfortress. This particular model built in July '45, so it did not see any World War II combat history. It became a training B-29, so even in Korea it did not go overseas. And then it was decommissioned and it was sent to the Naval Weapons Depot Center in China Lake, California. I'm not sure why it went to a Navy place, but it did. It was in there with a group of airplanes that basically forgotten. They didn't seem to have an inventory list on it anywhere, and so when the CAF was looking for one, there would seem to be none to be had anywhere. And then somebody happened to spot them, happened to fly overhead, spot the airplanes, and with that they did a deeper search, and in fact they found this airplane on inventory. And so the Air Force then donated to the Commemorative Air Force. The design of the aircraft was to essentially be able to reach Japan. And so it's a long-range bomber, very advanced for its day, the first pressurized aircraft, the first aircraft to have remote gun sights. So it has a sort of a very basic, by today's standards, rather crude computer, but a good computer that would work. And all the gunner had to do was to get the sight on the aircraft for 1 second, and it was a sure kill. Very, very accurate. And if you'll notice that there are fewer guns than gunner positions. And so if an aircraft passed from left to right, the left gunner would have the gun and then release it to the right gunner. The gun would swing around and then be available to the other gunner. Very advanced for its day. They were put into production before they was really fully tested. It had a lot of errors, a lot of bugs in it, if you will. And things were modified while they were being produced. We really don't do that today. We get something that's pretty much complete and operational, meeting certain criteria before we start producing, thousands of them or hundreds of them in these days. But in those days, they needed them right away. So they would modify an airplane on the fly, or they'd have kits to modify them in the field afterwards. And so initially they had problems. And in fact, at the very early part of their use, they had more operational losses than combat losses. And it was tough on the crews because they were working with something that was they felt was unsafe. But they stuck with it, and little by little, the kits and improvements, and they figured out how to fly it and how to modify it, and it became a good, safe airplane. And it was very, very effective at what it did. I have a special tie to this plane. My father was a B-29 project guy during World War II, and he joined the CAF in 1960, and they decided it needed a complete set of World War II American aircraft initially. And he didn't feel that the collection would be complete without a B-29, and out of the over 3,600 made, there were none to be had anywhere. There were only a few that were in guard posts or museums. They finally found this one just out of luck. He paid for the restoration of it, and then they named it FIFI after my mother. And so he flew it for a number of years. He's now passed away, and I'm now, the last 4 years I've been flying the airplane, and it's a thrill.